Hello everyone.
Let us introduce ourselves.
My name is Jihan Padilla, number student 73250135.
And my name is Duyanti Widyaningrum. My student identity number is 73250122.
Hi guys, welcome to podcast Chill Conversation. How is you linked to life? Welcome to Chill Conversation. How is you linked to life? I'm Jihan Padilla. Today we are going to break down as a student. Just by hearing the new makes all our wallet shake. And of course, it's about the impact of raising full price. In the studio, we have Duyanti Widyaningrum, public policy and energy analyst. Hello Ningrum, welcome to Chill.
Hi everyone.
Ningrum, people are already musing about the price of non-subsidy food in Indonesia, like pertamax and consumer price because global geopolitical tension. From the perspective of economic impact and transportation costs, how big is the domino effect of the middle class?
Yes, it's hard. It's true that the hike is for the non-subsidized cars, but don't forget that most Pertamax users are middle-class workers who rely on motorcycles or private cars for daily mobility. As the fuel price go up, their monthly spending on transportation costs shoots up too. The impact is that their purchasing power takes a direct hit. Income that could have been spent on other things or saved is forced to go straight into the gas tank.
What about when the effects spread to inflation because of gasoline price go up? The logistic for delivering consumer goods usually go up too.
Exactly. That's what's called cost-plus inflation. Even though the government is desperately trying to keep subsidies from increasing, the rise in non-subsidized sectors still sends psychological signals to the market. The impact is students and society. Students with high allowance have to cut back on food or entertainment budgets. Meanwhile, for lower-income people, even if they use Pertalite, the price of basic goods in the market gradually climb because of these logistic costs.
So, intriguingly, Ningrum, our new energy and mineral resource minister, Mr. Bahlil Lahadalia, speak up from of the media and empowerment of the people comparing the price of Pertamax still has gone down. What improvement take on this?
Well, Mr. Bahlil was born in his characteristic style. He asked the public and the media to be fair in looking at his energy policy. Here's his exact quote. You guys also have to be fair. When oil price went up for over 2 months, almost 3 months, we didn't raise it. He also added, now it's only been up for almost 2-3 weeks, and you guys are already asking why. So, from Mr. Bahlil's and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resource point of view, the government has actually been acting as a buffer or holding back for price from rising for months while global oil and crude oil price soared due to foreign conflicts. The recent price hike was the last resort to maintain fiscal stability. With Mr. Bahlil's strong commitment that subsidies food and electricity rates would not be increased to protect the purchasing power of lower-income people.
Oh, so Mr. Bahlil defense basically asks us to understand because the government has along held the price, but from a public policy perspective, Mr. Bahlil has to be fair. argument really satisfying for the public?
Honestly, if we dig deeper, that argument actually feels unfair to the public, especially the middle class. There are three counterpoints we need to highlight from Mr. Bahlim's statement. First, about the transparency of the pricing formula. The government only says we held price for 3 months, but the public never really knows in a transparent way what the actual production costs per liter of Pertamax is. So when the price is raised under the pretext of efforts, people are asked to just trust it without any financial data being openly shared. Second, business logic versus public service function. Mr. Bahlim's statement says it's only due to weak since the last part and people are already asking why. This is a corporate trading logic, not a state function. The role of the state-owned enterprise is to provide energy stability. Working class middle income people allocate their monthly budgets quickly. When subsidies for price fluctuate and suddenly spike, it immediately disturbs their household financial planning. We can compare this to the ups and downs of the stock market every day. And thirdly, the systematic impact on inflation. The government might be proud that they can keep subsidies for price like Pertalite stable, but they forget the middle class wants to switch or stick with non-subsidies Pertamax are the real drivers of the economy, ranging from small business owners, office workers, to freelancers. Once the purchasing power of the middle class collapses to the full cost, national economy growth will definitely slow down. So asking people to understand without providing concrete economic policies for the middle class, in my opinion, isn't quite right.
So basically, the government wants to say that three try to cover all the price down before eventually being forced to let them go to market price right.
Yeah, maybe.
The point is, we all have to be smart, economical with your energy. Like everyone, that's what really endly explained from the two side perspective. Was it? Guy, thanks Ningrum for giving the argument from a social point of view. Thanks a lot for stopping by the Chill Studio.
Invite me to chill again, guys.
So, what do you guys think about Mr. Bahlim's defense regarding the recount non-subsidy full price? Or your opinion with your thought in the comment below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Chill Podcast channel. I'm Jihan.
And Ningrum.
So you in the next Chill episode. Stay chill and stay smart. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Chill Conversation How Easily to Life. Make sure you watch the previous podcast episode. This time, I'm the original, but usually people call me Ningrum, and I'll be the podcast host. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's always hot among students, smoking on campus. Next to me is Jihan.
Hi Ningrum. Hi Chill friends.
From the Faculty of Public Health. Okay, Jihan, today we're going to discuss a sensitive but super important issue in the student world, smoking on campus. Honestly, when we talk about why smoking is all or tolerant on campus, the arguments from friends who smoke actually make sense from their psychological perspective.
It totally makes sense if you look at from a coping mechanism perspective. The main argument for why cigarettes seem socially allowed on campus is this acts as stress relief. Many students feel the academic pressure, feeling out as men as might make them tense. According to Country School Survey, nicotine is reported a temporary relaxing effect. So, for them, smoking area on campus is a safe space to unwind and even a place to find impression together with friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's why there's often praise. Ideas come out along with cigarette smoke. But on the other hand, why should smoking not be allowed on campus? Why do many parties, including the privacy and health activists, strongly say that campus must be smoke-free?
Well, the main reason is to protect human health, to breathe clean air. If we refer to the Indonesian Ministry of Health, campus include in the second smoke-free area that must be protected. The Ministry of Health explains that education institute must be environment from exposure to addictive substance. The logic is simple. A campus is a place for learning and improving quality of life. So it's really good if inside it activities that harm the body are classified. The former director of disease prevention and control at the Ministry of Health implied that campus shall be donors of health environment, not a new epicenter of disease. Why? Because according to the World Health Organization, exposure to secondhand smoke kill 1.2 people. Exposure to second smoke kill 1.2 million people every year. People right to breathe clean air.
So the effect isn't just on the smoker personally, but on the whole academic environment.
Exactly.
So if we're talking about the impact, like the impact of smoking on students and the academic environment, how much does it actually affect our learning ecosystem?
First, from the students' health side, the World Health Organization has repeatedly released data showing that passive smoking, meaning other students who just happen to inhale smoke in the corridor or cafeteria, have a risk of heart, sin, and acquired receptionist problem almost as big as activity smoker. Second, the impact of the academic environment itself. The air gets stuffed, not to mention the leftover cigarette that spread around the campus garden or facilities a campus that so clean and studied with receptory sensitive or asthma from focusing on the chair study.
Totally agree. Sometimes those of us who don't smoke have to hold our breath when passing through the main campus. However, the reality is that regulations are often not well enforced in the field. So, what solution do you offer so that both parties can feel treated fairly?
The most realistic solution right now is running or providing fully isolate smoking corner. According to health spatial planning graphics, its position shall be far from classroom, building and curriculation, spread from the cafeteria and not cutting through main radiation paths. So students who smoke still have their preferred space without taking away the right to clean air from the student.
Totally agree. So the key isn't to be hostile to each other, but respect each other and be aware of public space. First, please throw cigarette butts in the proper place, guys.
Yeah, that's totally right.
So, for those of you watching, do you agree if your campus implements a totally smoke-free zone, or is it better to have a designated smoking corner? And how is smoking area situation at your on campus? Write your arguments in the comment section. Our chat today was really cool. Thanks a lot for Jihan for stopping by Chill and giving such database insight.
I'm also grateful for being able to share information that's pretty hot among students, and thank you for inviting me, Jill.
Okay guys, it's time for us to say goodbye. And I'm Nurul.
I'm Jihan.
See you in the next episode of Chill. Stay chill, stay smart. Bye.